All right. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Shauna. This is our Fit Essentials Intermediate class. If you're wearing your BFR bands, we have added air. So you can go ahead and hit pause, add your air if you're on the recording. If you're here live with us, when you're ready, we're going to come down to hands and knees. We're going to warm up our wrists to get started today. And if you want to have anything to elevate your feet on, you can either keep your feet on the ground for a regular glute bridge, or I'm going to be showing from an elevated position for more of a hamstring curl as one of the exercises in our first circuit. So here we go, coming to hands and knees. As you come on down, you're going to rotate your palms down towards the ground with the fingers pointing in towards you. Draw that stomach in so you don't overarch that spine. And then just ever so gently lean back here. Get a nice stretch on the forearms. Focus on breathing in and out of your nose as you're stretching. Start to add a little side-to-side rock there. Fantastic. And then we're going to rotate the hands. The fingers point in. Go ahead and interlace those fingers. And then we're going to rotate 2 to 3 times around. Just looking to move through your wrist, get some good mobility, and then rotate the other way. Fantastic. When you're ready, if you can sit back on the ankles, soles of the feet up towards the ceiling or sky. Then we'll just shake out the wrist. Make a fist and circle them around. Good. Circle the other way. Fantastic. All right, we're going to go back to hands and knees for a few of our cat cows. So nice wide handprint again. Set those knees just underneath the hips. And then when you're ready, push strong through the arms, chin to the chest, breathing in as you lift up. Pausing at the top, and then a nice gentle breath out. Retract the shoulders down, looking up and forward. Go ahead and match it up to your own breath. In out the nose, or in the nose, out the mouth. Whichever feels best to you. Couple more. Excellent. And when you finish, take it back into child's. Big toes together, knees divide, walk the arms out, and then gently rock the hips back. Good job. Continue that breathing. One more breath. And bringing it forward. Very nice. From here, you're going to lay down on your stomach. We're going to do a few what they're called prone press ups. So hands right underneath the shoulders, legs come together. Really focus to engage your glutes. And then just as you're comfortable, some little mini press ups, engaging the glutes, trying to lengthen through your lower spine as you keep your hips planted and gently lift the chest off the ground. Lift the head and neck as well. Good. Coming up and down. Obviously, if this is causing any kind of discomfort in your low back, don't go that far or discontinue. You can always go back to that child stretch. Otherwise, you want it to feel good, drawing those shoulders back and down. So maybe one more time. Lower it on down, press it on up, and release. Fantastic. All right, we're going to start our first series. We're going to begin with a bear crawl, kind of get some good blood flow going. Activate that midline, really spread those hands nice and wide. And then you're going to barely bring the knees up off the ground. And then just ever so slightly, you'll begin to move opposite arm, opposite leg, trying to hold your spine as neutral as you can. And more for speed and, more for control of the movement than for speed. So this is one of the more challenging of the cross crawl exercises. Meaning you're focusing on one side of the body and then the other side of the body. Awesome. Forward and back. As you move backwards, really drive off the heel of your hands. Keeping your chin drawn in, watching right between the hands as you move. Excellent. 15 seconds left. Keep breathing. Fantastic. And maybe making your way back to center. And 2, 1, take a pause. Fantastic. Go ahead and roll over onto your back. And this is the option if you want to go ahead and elevate the feet. I'm going to use my step stool here. You could also use like the seat of a chair, the seat of the couch. If you're a little stiff in your low back, maybe start with a typical glute bridge with the feet flat on the ground. Otherwise, as you lie down, position your shoulder blades so that they're just underneath you, arms to the side, and then when you're ready, we're going to begin elevating the hips up, controlling down. Giving a little pause at the top, squeeze the glutes, get those muscles to fire. And you really want to avoid any kind of pinching sensation. I know I always say it, that's something you want to pay attention to. If you need to have a little lower bridge to avoid a pinch in the front of the hips, the low back, listen to your body. Don't just push through. Otherwise, if you don't feel any kind of pinching sensation, then go ahead and open up through those hips, lift them up nice and high. Excellent. And whether your feet are elevated or on the ground, try to push through your full foot. So my heels are driving down, and I'm also finding those big toes and pushing into the big toes as I lift the hips up. Wonderful. Good. Maybe one more time. Lowering down, coming on up. And go ahead and release. Fantastic. Feel free if you want to hug the legs in, give your body a little side to side rock. Wonderful. And then we're going to roll over onto our stomachs next. We're going to move into some lying flies. Going to look to engage that mid back. So you're going to lie on your stomach, legs together. You're going to go palms up, arms at your side, chin in. You can start on the ground. And then you're going to engage the glutes. Push the palms up towards the sky. Draw your chin in, looking down towards your mat. Holding for as long as you feel comfortable. And then when you need a break, come on down, breathe. And then once again, trying to stretch from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. You can either keep your feet on the ground, or you can also start to engage that lower body a bit more, just gently lifting your feet off the ground. Just like your superwoman, superhuman, flying off the ground. Focus on drawing your shoulder blades back and down. This is really good for our posture. Wakes up the back of our body. Good. Breathe and hold. 2, 1, and everybody rest. Beautiful job. Drop back in child's for a moment. And then we're going to be back to the top, starting back with the bear crawl. Awesome. All right, starting with the bear crawl here in about 5 to 10 seconds. Reset the palms of your hands, seeing how far you can spread from your pinky to your thumb. 2, 1, and round 2. Imagine you have a little saucer plate setting on your low back, and you want to try to not let that saucer fall off your pelvis. So hold really solid, trying to have little to no wobble side to side as you move. Awesome. Make sure your head doesn't start to protrude forward. Draw that chin back and in, and keep breathing. We're halfway through. Really feel your hands kind of engage into the mat. Grip your finger pads down. Feel the arches of your hands lift up, and give that support through the wrist. Wonderful. 10 seconds. We're going to go back to the hamstring curls next. 2, 1, and rest. All right, glute bridge or the hamstring curl. Now on rounds 2 and 3, if you felt strong on 2 legs, if you want to increase the effort, you can work with me on a single leg bridge. So I'm going to start with my right foot down, left foot up, palms down, arms to the side, and 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're gonna go about 30 seconds on each side here, lifting up, controlling down. Nice. Now, if you notice that your hips aren't staying level, you feel any lack of stability through your hips, recommend going back to the double leg support. Awesome. Almost there. Getting ready to switch sides. 2, 1, and switch it up. One foot down, the other leg up. And as soon as you're ready, go ahead and begin. This is our second of 3 rounds that we're going to do with this circuit here today. Looks great. Breathing through that lift. Wonderful. Almost there. Less than 10 seconds. And rest. Great job. All right, we're going to go back to our stomachs. You can stick with that lying fly position. If you feel like you'd like to advance the movement, then we'll move into what we call our prone, meaning face down, our snow angels. So with the snow angels, I start in that lying fly position, and then I'm going to go circular motion through the hands. As my arms move past my shoulders, on the down, I rotate the palms up. As I'm coming overhead, I rotate the palms down towards the floor. Excellent. And then all the same areas to focus on, stretching from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, firing the glutes, drawing that chin in, engage the front of the neck. And then especially when you bring those arms back and down, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Anytime you need a break, take it. We'll go about another 15 seconds here. Good. Keep breathing now. And 3, 2, 1, and take a break. Woo! Good job. Back in a child stretch again. Open up that low back. All right, friends. One more time through. Coming back to the bear crawl. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and join us. Trying to lift the opposite hand with the opposite foot at the same time. Small little steps. And feel that midline really engage strong. The lower you are, the more square you are, the more you'll start to get that burn in the legs and thighs. Upper body is working to push into the floor. Good job. We're over halfway. Excellent job. 15 seconds now. Keep your focus. Yeah, looking great, crew. And 3, 2, 1, and switching it up, making our way for the last round of the glute bridge or hamstring curl. I'll start in 15 seconds. As you come down, tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. I'm going to start with the right leg down, left leg up. 3, 2, 1, begin. I want you to know the motion, chin in. Keep the head and neck nice and neutral. And then it requires your intention to wake up more and more of those muscle fibers. So with every rep, try to squeeze deeper into your glute and hamstring on that side. Strong, good. All right, getting ready to switch. And opposite leg. As soon as you get into position, go ahead and begin. Go ahead, check in with your hips. Make sure they're staying level as you lift up. The foot that's down. Push that big toe down as well as the heel. Good. And keep trying to initiate more and more of those muscle fibers in the back of the leg. Pushing through the back of the arms as well. 2, 1, and rest. Feel free to pull the knees in towards your chest, rock your body side to side, kind of open up your groin a little bit. A little soft massage. All right, 20 seconds till we start our final exercise of this circuit. Back on our bellies for either those lying flies or the superhumans. Shoulder blades back and down, midline drawn in, 2, 1. When you're ready, so remember you can just stay with the hands down or we can circle through. I grew up in Ohio. I have fond memories of getting off the school bus when there's a fresh snow. We wouldn't lay face down, as you can imagine, but we'd lie on our backs and make our snow angels. So as you can imagine here, trying to create the wings of that snow angel. Remember to keep engaging the back of that body, fire the bum, protect that low back. Anytime you need a rest, just take a break, lay flat, and then lift back up when you're ready. 20 seconds to go. Super job. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Fantastic. Let's come into down dog. We're going to make our way up to standing. So turn those toes under, lift the hips high. Start by opening that mid back, guiding your heart towards your thighs, pushing strong through your arms. Draw the chin in towards the chest, and then start to pedal out the heels. All right, from there, go ahead and inchworm your way up, gradually coming out of that forward fold. Strong work. All right, as you come up to standing, let's circle through the hips a little bit. We're going to be going into some reverse lunges next. I'm going to recommend starting unweighted with this exercise. And we'll be going alternating legs. So I'll plan on taking you through it for a full minute, but I'll give you the 30 and the 45-second mark if you'd like to rest sooner. So eyes up, toes pointing forward. And then when you're ready, we're going to control the foot back, gradually bring that knee down, keeping that front shin planted, and then coming up and forward. Then you go to that opposite side, reach the arms forward, chest nice and tall. Yep. Really key to have a far enough step back that you keep that front shin up and down, front heel planted, eyes up, chest tall. Good. Try to find a spot straight ahead that you can focus on. That's 30 seconds in. Stellar. Back and down. Up and forward. There's 45 seconds, 15 seconds left. Lightly touch the knee, coming all the way up. All right. If you remember where you started, try to even yourself out on both sides and then taking a rest. Good. We're going to be coming down to a plank next. Option of the Renegade Row. So I'm going to have one dumbbell that's going to be right between my hands. Coming into a plank with my feet a little bit wider than my hips. And then anytime you're ready, we're going to either hold the plank or rowing, alternating arms. So the same handprint I had for that bear crawl. And then I'm going to grab the weight with the opposite arm, draw that elbow nice and high, shoulder down out of the ear. Excellent. Breathe out as you draw that elbow up. Key to have those hips as level as you can. Halfway. We've got a full minute on this one. If you feel your hips dropping down, you can come to your knees. You can also work this off of an elevated platform with your Dumbbell on a chair, hands on the chair like we do our elevated push-ups. Good job. Keep squeezing those glutes. That's going to help stabilize through the hips. And 3, 2, 1. Come on up for some blood flow. Nice job. Alrighty. So as you come up to standing, we're going to have some minute of some different kind of blood flow activities. So starting with our march and punch, breathing out at that punch. Very good. Step jacks or jump jacks next. Click those index fingers together. Make a nice solid circle with the arms. Step inside to side or a nice little hop. There you go. Good. Heating up that body a bit. Try to stay relaxed through your ankles if you're jumping. Solid. And then our last exercise, called our Glute Kickers, pulling the heels underneath. Instead of punching across, just drive the arms at your side. You can do a little bit of a run in place here. Emphasizing heel underneath the glute. Solid. 10 seconds. Eyes up, chest up. And rest. All right, those of you wearing the bands, let out your air or take them off. As we go back to our lunges, if you feel like you can hold some weight, you can hold some weight and add a bicep curl with it. So I'm going to hold some lighter dumbbells in my hands at the sides. Eyes up and forward. And then as I step back, I'll curl my arms in. As I step up, I'll extend through the arms. 2, 1, when you're ready. I got a full minute, so join us when you're ready. If you need a little longer rest. You could also do a shortened range of motion. I call it just a reverse giant step, where you take a big step back. But I would prefer that you work into that full range before you add weight to the activity. Nice. Propel yourself up and forward out of that front heel. Drive down, extend through that hip. Over 30 seconds in. Looking strong, crew. Yeah. There's 45 seconds, 15 left. Good. Just lightly touch that knee down. And 2, 1. There's our minute. Top of the plank. Option of the Renegade Row. You're going to have that dumbbell right between the arms. Feet just outside the hips. Hips and shoulders level. And when you get there, go ahead and begin. Chin in, eyes forward, meaning down and forward, looking towards your hands. Awesome. Whew. Stay in focus, keep breathing. Strong plant with that hand. We're over halfway. Go ahead, Sharon. Try to keep those hips a little bit more level when you draw that elbow up. There you go. That's better. Typically, the side that's rowing, the hips will tend to twist. So you want to keep the hips as square as you can. Try to just move through your shoulder blade and upper body. Nice. Almost there. And there's our minute. Nice job. Clear your space. Backing up, coming back up for our blood flow. All right. March and punch. Feel free to add a little skip to your step. Strong. Maybe just a gentle smile as you're moving here. Reinforce that positive emotion with your exercise and your movement. And your brain will be more likely to release any resistance. Come back next time. All right, we did jump jacks last time. Let's do a little side shuffle. If you have the space, or if you prefer the step or jump jack, that works too. Nice gentle swing through the arms. Good. Wonderful. All right, and then we'll finish with those glute kickers. Saying hello to the hamstrings. Arms drive at the side, or turn it into a stationary run. Yeah. Awesome. 15 seconds. We'll take a 30-second break before our last round of this circuit. Nice and relax through your ankle. Don't stay high on your toes. Good. 2, 1. Take that break. Let's grab some water. Strong job. All right. Coming back to our reverse lunge. Option of the bicep curl. Starting here in 3 seconds. Eyes up, toes forward. When you're ready, here we go. Back and down, up and forward. Nice. Standing all the way up at the top, squeeze the glutes, stack the shoulders over the hips. Excellent. 30 seconds in. Great control. There you go. Staying strong. That front leg, extend. Power yourself up. 15 seconds left. Woo. And 3. Oh no, sorry, 5 seconds to go. Last one. And transition. Good job. Final plank. That option, that renegade row. Starfish hands, spread them out wide. Set the feet just outside the hips. When you get there, you can begin. Draw that stomach in. So you hold that pelvis nice and neutral. Gravity will pull those hips down and tend to overarch that spine. Woo. Got a nice shake going here. Keep your breathing consistent. We are 30 seconds in. Anytime you need a break, don't judge yourself. Give yourself that break. Hi, Moose. 15 seconds left. Moose is cheering you on, folks. All right, even yourself out. And all done there. Woo! Clear your space and come back up for that blood flow work. Jesus, Moose. Awesome. All right, as soon as you get up to your feet, if you're ready to keep it moving, our minute starts now. Option to have that little hop to your step. Try to keep those hands high up by the shoulders. Very good. You can either go back to those step jacks, or if you want to progress the movement, we'll move into our grapevine or karaoke. Cross in front, cross in back. I like how it gives a nice swivel through the hips. Let those arms flow as well. Good. Stellar. Working that agility. All right, when you get back to your starting point, final 15 seconds, finishing with that glute march or glute kickers. Good. Stretch breaks coming. Awesome job, everyone. 3, 2, 1, and there's our rest. Woo, let's grab a drink. All right, depending upon your time and your energy, feel free to use this next piece as your cool down stretch, or else we're going to just do a short stretch before our final circuit. Start with a little side stretch. Stagger the feet. So if this is your left arm, step your left foot back, other hand on the hip. Push that back hip forward, fire the glute, and then reach the arm up and over, peering up to that hand. Breathing. Good. Keep pushing that back hip forward. Get a nice opening through the hip flexors. And switch it up. Same thing, second side. Heel down. So I push that back hip forward. And now palm down towards the ground as I peer up. Breathing here. Try to both tuck the chin in and rotate the head up. Good. Keep giving some opening into that back hip. Fire the glutes. And shake it out. Awesome. Behind the back stretch, forward fold. Walk your feet wide. Root down into the feet. Ribs tuck in the front. Extend through the chest. And then long spine. Hips back, chin in. Bowing forward. Sending your airflow into the sides and back of the rib cage. Try to go in and out the nose here. A couple more breaths. On your next inhale, bring her back up. Beautiful. All right. For our last series, we're going to be going 3 rounds, 30 seconds of each exercise. We're going to start with a deadlift. If anyone doesn't want to pick weights up off the ground this morning, you can work your good morning, bowing down, standing tall. It's going to go deadlift and then a squat. We're going to practice our lateral skier step and then some overhead press. So deadlift first. I'm going to start with one weight and gradually get heavier as we go. Draw the belly in nice and neutral through the midline. Soft bend in those knees. And then bowing down into position. 2, 1, begin. Standing tall. Good. Breathing in on the down, breathing out on the up. Excellent. Over halfway. Watch the tendency to lean back at the top. Just find that vertical position. Shoulders stacked over the hips. Lifting your head tall to the sky. 2, 1, and pause. Good. Squatting next. I'm going to go unweighted for this first round. You're welcome to hold weights if you'd like. When you're ready, sinking down, standing tall, pushing your knees out, keeping your chest up. Wonderful. You want to train that full range, getting as deep as you can without just letting those hips collapse underneath. So keep that midline engaged. Hold that nice neutral posture of your lower spine. Good, resting there. And now the lateral step, you're going to step behind, keep the foot on the ground, initially reaching your hand to the opposite foot, long step over. Good, and then if you feel solid there, you can add the balance portion, where you really lift up out of your hips, push that big toe down, and then keep that rear leg off the floor. Try not to collapse into it. Good focus. Awesome. And pausing there. If you want to use some light weights, you can either go both hands together or alternating arms, overhead press or reach. I'm going to go both arms together. Toes forward, midline strong, and when you're ready, oops, hitting the ceiling here, up and down. I'm going to come to kneeling just to be in the screen. You're welcome to stay standing. Good. Watch the tendency to flare those ribs out. So I don't want any sway back posture. If it's tough for you to not go into that sway back posture, then I recommend one arm at a time. Awesome, almost done. 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. That's round 1. We're gonna do it twice more. Now, as you get ready for this next deadlift, if you have 2 weights you can hold, you could go 1 on each arm, even if they're uneven weights. Mine are uneven, and I'll switch it up on the 3rd round. So I'm holding the heavier weight in my left hand, lighter weight in my right, toes pointing forward, midline drawn in. And when you're ready, here we go for round 2 of 3. Simply practicing mechanics of everyday life, bending over, picking up grocery bags, picking up laundry baskets. Reinforce those strong movement patterns so that you don't have to think about it so much and don't cause injury, just live in your daily life. Wonderful. Maybe one more time, and then use those same mechanics to set your weights down. We're getting ready for squats next. You want to hold 1 or 2 weights. I'm going to hold 1 underneath my chin. I could also have 1 in each hand. Slight toe out. And when you're ready. Nice. Very good. If you've had enough of that full range of motion, you can always march in place here. Keep the body moving. 10 seconds. Good job, everyone. Great posture through the torso and rest. All right, skier step. It's real hard to challenge the balance when we're tired. So if you feel wobbly, keep that back foot down as you reach side to side. If you feel like you can hold your hips level and stay balanced, then you can pick up that back leg. Focus on good control. There we go. Wobble through the ankle. Solid. As the chest comes forward, focus to drive that back thigh up. Nice. Balance it out. And get ready for that overhead press. All right. I'm going to also hold uneven weights here, and I'll switch it up. Got my heavier one in my left. And if you want to add a little leg drive to it, I guess you're not going to hit the ceiling. You can dip and drive out of the legs. Oops, there's the ceiling. Got a little bit of a slant here, so I got to find that happy place. Good. Ribs down. Squeeze those glutes as you push high. Wonderful. 10 seconds. There you go. Good. 2, 1. And 30 seconds rest. Woo. All right. As we get ready for the 3rd and final round, you were holding uneven weights. Now I'm going to have the heavier weight in my right hand, lighter in the left. We'll start here in 15 seconds. If you've had enough intensity for the day, just shake it out, keep moving gently, and wait for the cool down stretch. Otherwise, 2, 1, here we go. Squeezing those shoulders back and down. Think, how tall can I stand at the top? Lifting up through the top of your head. And then similar to that glute bridge, fire the glutes when you stand tall. Using those glute muscles help save the low back. They're the biggest muscles in our body. Final time. And pause. Squatting next. Option to hold some weights. Check in with your feet, just a gentle toe out. And final time. Breathing and moving. There you go. Only worry about the speed, or I should say only focus on the speed if you're confident through that full range. Otherwise, slow it down a bit. Get yourself as deep as you safely can. Chest up and forward. Final rep and switch. Skier step. Good balance. You can keep the foot on the ground as you step or take it off the ground. Lift everything up, squeezing those shoulders back. Good focus. All right. And then getting ready for your final overhead press. If you are using the uneven weights, going heavier weight in the right arm. Elbows up and forward, 2, 1. Here we go. Awesome. Ribs down. Remember, you could go every other arm and look like this. Or both together. 10 seconds. Smile as you drive up to overhead. Breathe. Finish strong. 2, 1, and done. Woo! Awesome job. Yourself and your friends, even if they're your imaginary friends, some high fives. Grab a quick sip. And then we're going to start with our quad stretch. So standing tall, grab a foot, stretching out the quad. Hips nice and level, working some balance here. And now you want to try to focus on bringing your heart rate down with some nice big breaths. Good. Pay attention to which foot you're holding. It's my left. Wide stance in between sides. We're going to open up the inner thighs with a little side lunge. Feet planted, toes grip down. Arm reaches out. Nice. Pushing the knee wide, chest tall. Good. And then feel free. Hands on the thighs. Bring the chest forward. And now we're going to push into the thigh as you rotate. Look over that opposite shoulder. Breathing in, back to center. Same thing other way. Breathing out as you rotate. Get 2 to 3 each direction. Good. I haven't forgotten about that opposite thigh. For the quad stretch, I was on my left. Now I'm moving to my right. Here we go. Good focus. The side that's holding the foot, watch the shoulder. Mine tends to protrude forward, so draw that shoulder back. Get a little opening through the chest at the same time. Final 10 seconds. Sure, go ahead and stand tall for this one. There you go. And rest. Awesome. All right, friends. Let's finish with a little hourglass toe touch. And then we're going to call it a day. Nice and soft in the knees. And just flow through here, circling around. Engage those glutes. Look up to overhead. We're going to go 3 times each way. When you're ready, go ahead and switch direction. Flow the other way, nice and smooth. And final time. Awesome. All right, anything else that your body might be asking for? Those of you here live, if you want to hang out with us, we'll do our little frequency tones next and a couple of final stretches together. Otherwise, thanks so much for moving your body with us. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time.